G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action here doing a review for the Heavy Metallurgy channel. Tonight we're going to be talking about the new album from Sydney black metal band Krvna, For Thine is the Kingdom of the Flesh. Krvna is a relatively new black metal band, one-man band from Sydney, Australia, founded in 2021 by the similarly named Krvna Vatra. The band released their first demo cassette, this one here called Long Forgotten Relic, limited to 50 copies out on Seance Records in 2021. It features 2 tracks that sets the foundation of what to expect from the band. Only months later, the band released their very first debut album here called Sempinfernus, 5 tracks of vampiric black metal, also released by Seance Records. The album was well received and demonstrates the sound of Krvna. It has its heart in Romania. And just over 1 year later, in 2022, in December, Krvna released their sophomore album, For Thine is the Kingdom of the Flesh, on both CD and cassette, co-released from Ancient Dead Productions and Third Eye Temple. So let's talk about the tracks on the album. The opening title track begins with a choir singing, kicking into a triumphant sounding tremolo riff, accompanied by blasting drums and rasped, tortured vocals. By the halfway point, the music slows to a more deliberate pace and adds a barrage of double kicks, dissonant guitar picking. The riff style at times has a tinge of the pagan flavour, but overall it's all very vampiric black metal. The track also features a very soaring guitar solo, very tastefully done, builds to a massive crescendo and halts abruptly, ending with a short acoustic piece. The second track, Gethsemane Ablaze, is my favourite one on the album, and the band's oldest track, originally being recorded for the 2021 demo tape. A furious tremolo riff is the core of the song, alternating with loose chords leading into the chorus. Tailing with a very different but equally savage riff. Once again, this song builds up everything that came before it into a maelstrom finale. The songs on For Thine is the Kingdom of the Flesh all exceed 7 minutes, but with so much packed into each track, they certainly do not feel excessive. The third track, Veni Vidi Vici, a Latin phrase attributed to Caesar, which translates to I came, I saw, I conquered. It starts this one with a slow beat, but it quickly returns to the fury that we're being accustomed to on this album. The track is more direct in its assault, would make the most impact in a live setting, that is if Krvna do play live. It has a swirling guitar solo with a strong emotion leading into the bridge where the instruments are all removed except for a singular guitar. Feedback then fades in, thundering toms leading us into the victory march. Some lyrics from this track: to lay waste to his kingdoms and recite the devil's curse, shall thee relieve, thou burdened soul, of forsaken and troubling ire, and join with me thus, transform into eternal vampire. Track 4, The Flaming Hordes of Bazarab, opens with a very Nazul-like orthodox dark chanting, similar to their track Vow of Vengeance. For me, the construction of this track is actually the most Nazul-like as well. Also a feeling of very latter-day Marduk, think particularly Serpent's Sermon, a real cacophony of satanic might in this particular track. As with the previous songs on the album, Krvna bring the track to a massive build-up towards the close, ending with a very tasteful piano interlude. Fans of Nazul's Iconoclast and Ocala albums will find themselves at home with the music of Krvna on this album. It has a very familiar Australian flavour to its brand of black metal. I could also reference other local bands like Order of Arius, Erebus Enthroned, playing in a very similar style. And as Krvna Vatra now plays guitars in Pestilential Shadows, fans of that band will also be well served by listening to Krvna. The fifth track on this album is called In the Absence of Gods. It has the most similarity to me to Erebus Enthroned, and by extension, Ignis Gehenna. It's absolutely pounding, a relentless track, but the short guitar lead at the end during the fade is very traditional heavy metal sounding, provides a wonderful contrast to the fury that comes before it. The sixth and final track, Death Shall Have No Dominion, is pure destruction. All the elements of the previous songs come together and are played with maximum ferocity. I do have to call out the harmonized leads that end the song and therefore end this album with such a bright light over the darkness of the otherwise vampiric tracks. The final lyrics on the album being, "Consume in extremis sanguine, and death shall have no dominion, adrift in ceremony, and death shall have no dominion, eternal vampire." Krvna have crafted a fantastic modern black metal album. The songs are respectful to the old school, but they all have their own modern identity. They tend to follow a similar structure, an intro piece leading into the main heart of the riffs, a slower section to gather some breath, finally culminating with a tremendous and crushing crescendo. Fans of the Australian black metal bands that I mentioned should take special note here, but fans of black metal in general will enjoy what Krvna are offering on this album. It's in every way an improvement over the previous one, Sempen Furnace, including the crisp production that Krvna Vatra has engineered himself. The album is available on CD and cassette. There was a limited CD with a slipcover. You can get this through Seance Records in Australia, Ancient Dead in Europe, or from the band's own Bandcamp. There's only 50 copies of the tape, so if that's your flavour, you want to get in there quick. If you like this review, please do check out the other content here on Heavy Metallurgy. Also check out my channel, Explosive Action, for more metal and some movie conversation as well. Links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.